My ex wants to focus on herself, but I believe she's being somewhat deceptive. We have been dating for about 18 months. 2 weeks ago, she met up with me in person about not feeling that she is in a place to handle a relationship at the moment. She believes she needs to work on some things by herself in order for our relationship to be where she wants it to be. For the record, she says that I am the best thing that has ever happened to her and that this only temporary until she feels she is where she wants to be. The goal is for us to get back together. She has a history of trauma from her estranged father and toxic ex, and she takes medication to handle with some of these issues and does therapy. She swears she still loves me. However, I laid out some ground rules that if she states this is completely temporary and wants us to work out, that neither of us are going to explore anyone else romantically. Obviously I do not have any of those feelings, and she states that is the last thing on her mind as well. We agreed to stay in contact. We still see each other's location on Snapchat. But there is this friend that she has a romantic history with. Not necessarily a relationship, but they did go out and have slept together. She has since kept in contact with this individual and has spoken to me about this relationship with me. I told her that I trust her judgment, but also was not comfortable with them going out one-on-one date. She texts him almost daily. A week ago, she stated she was going out to an event. I noticed that her location was at where this gentleman lived. She sent me videos of her at the event. When I asked who she went with, she stated she took some female friend. When I spoke to her later that night, I once again asked if that's the only person she went with. She said yes. I get the feeling that their relationship with each other is emotionally unresolved. And that if she was honest of her intentions currently, she feels I would take that as the end of our relationship. I've stressed to her that in order for this to work properly, transparency is necessary. I've asked her if the separation was just a polite way to put me down softly. She adamantly said no and wants us to work out. Comment. She's not trying to put you down softly. She is exploring another option without technically cheating, but keeping you on standby in case it doesn't work out. If the goal is to work it out, why separate at all? What does it change? How does it help? Regardless of any separation, she should not be texting a guy every single day, especially one with a history. What things does she want to work on? Why can't she work on them in the context of a relationship? I mean, for your sake, I hope you are right, but 95 times out of 100, asking for a break means there is somebody lined up to test out. Maybe she won't sleep with them while you have your agreement so she can tell herself she's not violating it and she has nothing but good intentions while spending time with a new guy. I think you're being a little naive here. A break rarely works. If you're going to separate, call it a breakup and go your separate ways. If you come back to each other eventually, do so with a clean slate and the understanding that if either of you were with other people during your breakup, that's okay, because in the end you chose each other. But to go on a break is just silly. Stop contact at this stage is probably the best for you up. Just let her go and focus on herself and you can focus on you. If you like, you can send her one last message and thank her for her time and that you'll always cherish the memories that you had together and to look after herself, but that you don't see any future with her as she is interested in someone else. And then block her absolutely everywhere and do your best to forget that she exists. Future you will thank present you for this. Just try to focus on yourself. I'm not saying go sleep with the next girl you see, but take it easy. Just go to work, hang out with friends and take some time every day to rest and allow yourself to think about what is in your life. It is logical that you hold out hope, but while she is working on herself, you are hurting. If she cannot see this, then she might not be the person for you and that's okay. Not everything works out and it's okay to feel bad about it, especially after 18 months. Just try to keep your life going, but don't ignore your feelings. Back to you after all. Sounds like she doesn't want to put you down softly, but rather try things out with this other guy. Come on, she needs to not be distracted by you to work on herself by herself, while she is distracting herself with this other guy. Rather than the best thing that has ever happened, you are probably the best guy that ever committed to her. She just wants to make sure that is the case. Don't worry, after she hooks up with this guy a few times and gives up on him committing to her, she will be back to you. I hear you, man, I really do. But here is the thing, we explicitly came to the consensus. Your girl is not the first to have done that and then hooked up with someone else. And in this case, it sort of sounds like you wanted that clarification more than she wanted to give it. Though I'm sure she was sincere about not wanting you to hook up with anyone. I'm sorry about all of this. But the least complicated explanation here is that she is hooking up with this guy. She is chasing after him. And even if she is not, are you serious? She needs to be away from you but is all over this other guy she used to hook up with, and that is cool? Nah, hard pass. Send her a text. I have thought about this a lot. I am no longer comfortable being in a relationship with you when you are obviously pursuing a relationship with a man you have previously been with. You have limited your interaction with me while increasing your interaction with him. And then end things. Considering her behavior, and this is a harsh truth, I would now be very skeptical about how toxic her ex used to be. She might not be as honest as you think about such things. Most guys, when hearing what their ex says about them, tend to go, that is not true. You might consider that here. Because all of the toxic we are seeing is on her end. Next story 2. We're a good short-term connection but I'm not seeing it as long-term. How do I let her know without making it sound like she's not good enough? Is it still too early? We met on Tinder and her profile said she was looking for a short-term connection but open to long-term. Before deciding to meet up, we both said we're looking to take things slow. She said she was here to take things slow and meet people along the way, and that she got out of a long relationship at the beginning of the year and didn't want to rush into anything too quickly. We've been dating for a little over a month now, seeing each other basically each weekend. I'm enjoying getting to know her, spending time with her, and also enjoying the physical side of our relationship. I get the feeling she really likes me. I'm just realizing that she does not have all the qualities I'm looking for in a long-term life partner. She's a bit too much like me. We could be very comfortable together, but that's part of why I'm not seeing it as long-term. I think we also just want different things in life. She wants to stay in the city where we live. I'd like to move out in 5 or 10 years. She also wants kids. I'm on the fence. We haven't had very serious conversations about these things, but I've just picked these things up as we hang out. I'm open to my feelings changing, but this is how I feel right now. Bottom line, I think I'm just looking for something different in my life partner. I'd like to continue looking for that connection. I have not stopped using dating apps, but am not talking to anyone else right now. If she is open to it, I definitely wouldn't mind continuing what we're doing while we each look for other connections. Considering she said she was open to a short-term connection, I'd like to see if that is something she might see for us. Though I did notice she changed her Tinder profile to long-term, open to short-term, when it was originally short-term, open to long-term. But either way, still seems like she might be open to short-term. How can I even begin this conversation? I've been pretty bad at talking about these sorts of things before. I tend to stumble over my words and ramble a lot. Any advice is appreciated. Comment. If you think she might be looking for long-term with you, spending time together every weekend is going to reinforce that. You might want to have another conversation where you state how your future goals don't line up, and as for now, you are seeing a short-term relationship. She deserves to have all the information, and she might agree with you. Or not, but at least you're not potentially leading someone on. That really can be hurtful. Talking to her is good in either situation. If you both decide to keep going, it's important to have good communication, and if either one of you decides to end it because of this, then at least she knows the full truth, which will help her heal. As for how to talk to her about it, I know that can be hard. You could just try to talk to her, or you could write down how you feel beforehand, like you did here. It's just important you tell her clearly how you feel, and you could even show her this post if you cannot get the words out anymore. Take some time to think about what it is you want to say to her, and don't think too much about the outcome, because you cannot know what she will react. Why even have that conversation yet? It's very early days, and she stated she's looking for a short-term relationship. Next story 3. My mom thinks my fiancé has red flags. I met my fiancé almost 2 years ago and it was instant love. I never believed love was real, and I'll experience it until I met him. I still can't believe it's real, and he's my forever person. Every moment I'm with him feels like a dream I never want to wake up from. He came here to the US on a student visa. Unfortunately, with the student visa he was on, you can't work. My mom was always very critical over the fact that he was 28 and didn't have a career. I tried to explain to her countless times that he's from South Korea and he had to do the mandatory military enlistment like there's no way around it, and that took some time from having to work. Then he went to college, then aviation school, and then aviation school here in the US. All these things took a lot of time. Also, I tried to tell her that he can't work yet due to his visa status and it being illegal. She would then make nasty comments about how she wishes I was with a guy from here. My fiancé decided to apply for grad school and major in data science. The career would be amazing for him and he has the brain for it. He was accepted and he went back to South Korea to get a new student visa. Unfortunately, he was denied due to switching his major. It completely shocked us both. His lawyer is helping him with passing his next interview and he thinks my fiancé has a good shot to pass. I really hope it works. But we figured if that doesn't work, since we're already engaged, that we should do the K1 fiancé visa. We already meet all the requirements for the K1 fiancé visa. Of course I rather him pass the next interview because that means he can go straight to grad school and will have a clear direct future from there because his career will be all aligned. But if we can't, I have no issues with getting married. My fiancé and I talk about our future a lot and we have a plan in place. It could be hard at first regarding finances, but it will be something we'll get through. The K1 fiancé visa doesn't let you work until your work permit is granted and that could take some time. My fiancé is going to start working if he gets denied after the student visa interview, and he's already started to work in a program that can help with his future job and help here in the US. My fiancé is also very lucky because his family are very financially comfortable. So they help him out and agreed to helping him while he's not working until his work permit is granted. Sadly, he's still in South Korea and I'm away from him for the time being. So hopefully he passes his next interview and he'll be here in December, or the latest if it's the K1 fiancé visa it will be 1.5 years. My mom knows all about what's going on and she's constantly saying that I'm marrying a guy that is a red flag because he doesn't work yet or in his career. I told her that I don't know what else to do and I'm not doing a long distance relationship with him for the next few years. My mom always complained about how my dad didn't make enough money for her and she was never happy with the lack of money. She's very fixated on finances with my fiancé, which I think is due to her projecting her own issues from my dad and their finances onto me and my relationship. I think there's also a part of her that's jealous and insecure that my fiancé and his family are financially comfortable. Whenever I try to explain our plans to her, she says things like, "I hope you're right and I'm wrong," or "I hope you can prove me wrong." I don't know what to do. I know my fiancé and I will have an amazing future and we are working towards that. I love him so very much and I can't imagine being with anyone that isn't him. But then I worry, am I ignoring the red flags that are there? Or is my mom in the wrong? Comment. You are looking at his potential and your mother is looking at facts. The fact is he doesn't have a career and that is something she thinks your future partner needs to support your future family. I'm not saying you are wrong to be with this guy, but your mother is looking at it from a different perspective. I don't think you can change her mind.